الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. It's very nice to see all of you guys tonight, and alhamdulillah, we're very lucky and very fortunate to be part of this community, to be part of this diverse community. Because if you go to the other communities in the USA, usually you see like a Palestinian masjid, a Moroccan masjid, Egyptian masjid. But here, alhamdulillah, despite our cultural differences and the fact that we're coming from all over the world, yet we pray in the same masjid. And alhamdulillah, this is ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The program of tonight, inshallah, it was inspired from the book of Allah, when Allah says in Surah Al-Hujurat, يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to know each other. He doesn't want us to fight each other. He wants us to know each other. And that's where the idea of this program came from. This program basically, just to give you just a brief idea about this program. So basically, this program we assign a certain group of people from a certain country, and we let them give us a presentation, a little glance about their country, about how Islam entered their country. So the program, last month we had the brothers from Egypt. They presented Egypt. And tonight, inshallah, we will be talking about Morocco. This project takes place here in Masjid Us-Sunnah every month, the last Saturday of every month. So tonight, inshallah, we have the pleasure to have our brothers from Morocco, speakers from Morocco, to talk about Morocco. But we have 45 minutes, the lecture presentation lasts 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, we will have 15 minutes quizzes, a quiz, just to assess your knowledge. But please pay attention to the presentation, as the questions in the quiz are related to tonight's topic. And inshallah, the winner is going to get an airline ticket for a Umrah in Ramadan, sponsored by Brother Abdullah bin Dad, inshallah. The winner is going to get a free airline tickets to Umrah in Ramadan, inshallah. It's sponsored by you, inshallah. No, by you. So, inshallah, after the quiz, we will pray Isha at 7:30 sharp, inshallah. We'll try to do it. We pray Isha, and then after Isha, we will all enjoy our Moroccan food prepared by our brothers and sisters from Morocco. I have the pleasure to introduce Brother Ayub and Brother Muhammad Dawdi, Brother Muhammad Al-Qabri, Brother Saeed, our soccer player, Yassir Baji, and his dad, Baji Abdurrahim. I will give the microphone to the first one who's going to start.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. By the way, he said something about the food. All we know is we're supposed to bring pictures, no actual food. Anyway, assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Brother Rashid, and thank you, Brother Abdullah bin Dada, for organizing this event. And thank you, Hajj and MCC, for hosting it and giving her a home. This is a blessing when you see people from different backgrounds, countries, and cultures getting together and one common purpose, which is Islam and worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Morocco, we have a tradition during Eid al-Adha called Khayloba. Moroccans will know that. And basically, after you're done slaughtering your lamb and cleaning, when you're done with everything, settle down, the kids in the neighborhood, each one of them goes to their family and get one food item. And they make one dish based on all the food items to share with everybody else. And this is no different from our community. We got people from a lot of different countries and backgrounds. And their culture is shaping this country and shaping its civilization also. And speaking of this country, we're having a former President Barack Obama. He was going to be here today, but unfortunately he couldn't make it, so he sent us an audio.
Barack Obama is busy now, so we have to wait.
My country was Morocco. In signing the Treaty of Tripoli, I also know that Islam has always been a part of America's story. The first nation to recognize my country was Morocco. In signing the Treaty of Tripoli in 1796, our second president, John Adams, wrote,
Thank you, President Obama. Now we move on to the history of Morocco pre-Islam. Morocco is an ancient kingdom. Before Islam, the country's history was shaped by many civilizations. Phoenicians, Phoenicians, Romans, Roman, Wendel, and Byzantine. But the original people of Morocco are Amazigh. 40,000 years ago, Amazigh people came to Morocco from the Arabian Peninsula. They settled and built the first civilization in the country. Their work was notable in many domains like agriculture, domesticating horses, and their work in Ireland. They lived in large tribes with no actual recognized government in the area. Because of this lack of unification of authority, Morocco was constantly invaded. The Phoenicians. 1000 BC, the Phoenicians, fearless navigators, and you can see that in the map, established trading along the Moroccan coast. They built some coastal ports, like the port of Tangier or Tanja, in the 8th century. The kingdom of Mauritania Tingitana, 400 BC. The Amazigh tribes unite and establish the kingdom of Mauritania Tingitana and Tingis as their capital. The Romans, 146 BC, the Romans, after they destroyed Carthaginians, extended their control toward the northern half of Morocco, and they made Tingis as a Roman city. 46 BC, Numidia became a Roman province. 25 BC, Juba II, Muhammad Zewdi's favorite character, a Romanized Amazigh became king of Namibia. And Wendel, and that's a picture of their king, 430, between 430 and 533 AD, The Wendels king Gennesaret conquered the Roman Empire in North Africa. The Byzantine, in the 6th century, the Byzantine West took back the control of the country from the Wendel and stayed there until the interest of Islam. And now we're going to have my little son over here talk about how Islam came into Morocco.
Introduction of Islam into Morocco. Islam has been part of Morocco since around 670 AD when the Umayyads, under their general Uqba ibn Nafi', conquered most of the Maghreb, which includes modern Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Libya. Following that conquest, the Amazigh population slowly converted to Islam. In 788 AD, Malay Idris is credited as founding the first Islamic dynasty in Morocco, the Adagsa dynasty, although it was not until the 11th century that the Almoravids created an empire that included almost all of modern Morocco and making the Malihi school of Islam predominant. From that time, most of the region covering modern Morocco was ruled by Islamic dynasties, either Berg, Amazigh, or Bab.
Please, if you have to come to the projection, please, if you can. And now we're going to have our brother Saeed. He's going to talk about the Masjid Us-Sunnah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the 7th century, saw the rise of Islam in Arabia. In the early years, believers were organized into a small, night community headed by our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Within a century of his death, in AD 632, Muslim armies had conquered the whole Middle East, including Persia, north of Africa, and parts of Spain and France. In 670, the Arab general Uqba ibn Nafi' founded the holy city of Kairouan in Tunisia. From Kairouan, in 682, Uqba led his Arabian armies all the way to the Atlantic coast of Morocco. He named the land Al-Maghrib al-Aqsa, Arabic for the further west. This remains Morocco's names in the Arabic language to this day. Little is known of the early Amazigh until their land became part of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire has built important centers of settlement, including Gallipolis, whose remain today's Morocco most impressive from that time. The prospect of an invasion of the rich Spanish peninsula made many Amazigh convert to Islam and join the Muslim armies to carry the banner of Islam across the Mediterranean. For the next 6 centuries, the Islam civilization of Spain and Morocco outshone anything in the Christian Europe. From the time of the Muslim conquest to the formation of a protectorate in the 20th century, the political history of Morocco is that of an uninterrupted succession of dynasties. And I will just talk a little briefly about these dynasties. And first we have the Idrisi dynasty, Al-Idrisiyin. The first Arab dynasty to rule over the whole of Morocco was named after Idris, a refugee from the east who was the great-great-grandson of Fatima, the daughter of our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. The next one is the Maghrawiyin, or Maghrawa dynasty. It's a tribe of Zenata, Amazigh, were one of the first Amazigh tribes to submit to Islam in the 7th century. After it, Al-Murabitun. Al-Murabitun is an Amazigh dynasty from Sahara. They made a sweeping conquest from northwestern Africa in the mid-11th century, driven by a conviction that the Muslims in the region were not practicing their faith properly. Al-Muwahhidun. Al-Muwahhidun was the next dynasty after the Murabitun, and it's an Amazigh dynasty also. A movement that it's an Amazigh Muslim dynasty, and it was a movement founded in the 12th century by Ibn Tumart. He was an Islamic scholar among the Amazigh Masmouda tribes of southern Morocco. And Al-Marinian dynasty. Amazigh originally from the southeast of the present-day Morocco. And Wattasin dynasty, and they were related to the Mariniyin, and they ruled for over 82 years. After it, the Sa'diyin claimed descendants from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam via the descendants of Ali ibn Talib and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam daughters Fatima Zahra. And our current Al-Alawiyin dynasty, and it's the current Moroccan royal family. The name Alawiyin comes from the Ali of Ali ibn Talib, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, son-in-law and cousin. When Muhammad bin al-Hassan was crowned Muhammad VI in July 1999, Morocco entered a new era. The new king was young, bright, modern, and intent of implementing pioneer reforms. Early in his reign, true to his word, he overhauled the Mudawwanat al-Usra, means family legal code, which would fundamentally change the lives of Moroccan women and even extraordinarily establish the Equity and Reconciliation Commission at the same time. Muhammad VI saw the need to establish closer ties with the West as well as increase foreign investment in Morocco.
Thank you, Brother Saeed. We're going to move on to start talking about Morocco as a country, as far as cities. So before we get to specifics about cities of Morocco, we would like to mention some general facts and give a little more details about the cities that we showcase during this presentation. There are about 53 cities with population between 10,000 to 100,000, and 23 cities from 100,000 to 1 million, and 2 cities over 1 million, with Casablanca having over 3 million people according to 2014 census. The oldest city is Fez, 1,200 years old, built in the year 808 as the capital of Adarisa. Marrakesh, representing is Mr. Zuhair. Yeah, it's the most touristic city. It was the capital for Murabitin, Sa'diyin, and Muwahidin. It was nicknamed the Red City or Palm Tree Capitals due to the palm trees all over Morocco. And the Red City, because of the buildings are all red cut. It's not really red, it's more like clay red or burgundy. The biggest city distance-wise is Casablanca with 148 square miles. Influence from the Arab world, Spain, Portugal, and France are seen in Moroccan cities architecture, both in their own and blended with Amazigh and Islamic style. Morocco is an ethnically diverse country with a rich cultural history. It has hosted many people coming from the east, Phoenicians, Carthaginians, Jews, and Arabs, coming from the south, Sub-Saharan Africans, from the north, Romans, and people from Andalusia or Andalus. All those civilizations had affected the social structures of Moroccan cities in those regions. A lot of old Morocco can be seen in the cities. All cities have an area called Medina Qadima, Medina al-Qadima, or translated to English as Old City, where the history of Morocco can be glimpsed from qasbas, riyads, and tight alleys. Qasbas, as you see in the picture, is a fortress. Generally a town surrounded with walls made of mud and stones and have high towers to watch for approaching enemies. Riyads, usually a house with a garden inside divided into quarters with the water fountain in the center. Tight alleys, representing there is the city of Chefchaouen. It's called the Blue City. And it's only the tight alleys that are only accessed by mules, donkeys, or bicycles, no cars. The cities would have Newtown or Medina Jdida, alongside built during the time of the French-Spanish protectorate in the 20th century. And you can see that in the railways or modern facilities. Those are railways in 30s and 50s, not nowadays. An important part of any Moroccan city are the souks, al-aswaq. They are open markets, often divided into separate areas dealing with different commodities and craft. Morocco is a must-visit destination for those interested in about anything, from Sahara Desert landscape to the imperial cities of Marrakesh, Fez, Meknes, and Rabat, coastal towns like Asila, Sawira, that provide an escape from northern African heats in the summer, while the Atlas Mountains offer opportunities for skiing, snowboarding in the winter. One of the highest mountain peaks in North Africa and Arab world is Jabal Tubqal, the mountain of Tubqal, 4,167 meter, 13,671 foot. And with the general facts, we move on to some specific cities, and we got Brother Ayub, inshallah, is going to talk about some cities.
Casablanca is located in the central western part of Morocco, bordering the Atlantic Ocean. It is the largest city in Morocco. It is also the largest city in Maghreb, as well as one of the largest and most important cities in Africa, both economically and demographically. Casablanca is Morocco's chief port and one of the largest financial centers on the continent. According to 2014 population estimate, the city has a population of about 3.3 million in the urban area. Casablanca is considered the economic and business center of Morocco. The port of Casablanca is one of the largest artificial ports in the world, and the second largest port of North Africa. Casablanca also hosts the primary naval base for the Royal Moroccan Navy. The Hassan II Mosque. The Hassan II Mosque is the largest mosque in Morocco and the 13th largest in the world. Its minaret is the world's tallest at 210 meters, which is 689 feet, completed in 1993. The minaret is 60 stories high, topped by a laser, the light from which is directed towards Mecca. A maximum of 105,000 worshippers can gather together for prayers. 25,000 inside the mosque hall and another 80,000 on the mosque outside grounds. The Morocco Mall is the second largest shopping centers in Africa. Fez. Fez is the oldest city in Morocco. Fez is the city in northern England, Morocco. It is the second largest city in Morocco and after Casablanca, with a population of 1.1 million. Located to the northeast of Atlas Mountains. The city was founded on the bank of Jahar River by Idris I in 789, founder of the Idrisi dynasty. His son Idris II built a settlement on the opposing river bank. The University of Al-Qarawiyyin. The University of Al-Qarawiyyin is a university located in Fez, Morocco. It is the oldest existing, continually operating, and the first degree awarding educational institution in the world according to UNESCO and Guinness World Records, and is sometimes referred to as the oldest university. It was founded by Fatima al-Fihri in 859 with an associated madrasa, which subsequently became one of the leading spiritual and educational centers of the historic Muslim world. This is just another city, Meknes. And these are some pictures of Tangier, which is another city in Morocco. This is Rabat, and the picture on the top right is this Hassan II tower. Hassan second.
I'm from here, by the way.
You can see her, she's right there. She's right here. Inshallah, Brother Muhammad is going to talk to us about the Moroccan economy and Madahib Madhab Maliki, Quran recitation, and Moroccan scholars.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. We're going to talk about Morocco's economy. Alhamdulillah, Morocco's economy in the last 5 years is very stable and grow step by step. Morocco's GDP, which GDP stands for gross domestic products, is by US dollar is $221 billion in 2011. The GDP growth annual percentage was 3.7 in 2010 and 4.5 in 2011. GDP per capita 2008 is $2,970 billion. And we can see, for example, of the global distribution of commercial reserve of rock phosphates in Morocco. In 2016, Morocco is the number one, alhamdulillah, in the world when we talk about phosphate by 70%. The second one in Africa is our dear brothers in Algeria by 3%. There is no country in the world over 3%. And it's China. And we're going to talk inshallah about the world's largest concentrated solar plants which is in the Sahara. This was a very huge project. The name of this project is Nord Waterjet 4 power station span over an area of 137 hectares, which means 1.37 square kilometer. Will be set up with over $75 million, and thus generates 582 megawatts, which means 582,000 watts, and provide electricity to over a million homes. In 2020. Morocco is, we can say, is the number one when we talk about the quantity of dams in North Africa. The number of dams in North Africa in 2011, according to the Moroccan government, reached 148 with total capacity of more than 17.2 billion cubic meter. And inshallah, our brothers in Jazair, they're going to complete their dams, and they're going to be the biggest dams in Africa. Inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for them. Now, Moroccan tourism industry, walillahi alhamd, Morocco is a very safe country. This is why Morocco is the number one in Africa when we talk about the tourism industry with 10.4 million. This is just in 2016, and we have a goal to reach 20 million in 2020, inshallah. This is why the government and our king, Hafidahullah, make a lot of effort to reach this goal. Now we're going to talk about the automotive cluster success story of the Moroccan economy. This is a very good success story in the Moroccan economy. The Moroccan economy has performed strongly over the last 15 years with an average real GDP growth of around 4%. The automotive cluster has been one of the recent success stories of the Moroccan economy. It has grown into cluster with a vehicle production of 167,000 per year, and we have a goal to double this number with 2.8 billion euro. It's equal $3.442 billion in export and 85,000 employees. Renault is a model of a car. Renault is the predominant car manufacturer in Morocco. Now we're going to talk, inshallah, about a little bit about Islam. And as we know, the most of North Africa countries is Maliki, and like the same in Africa. Islam is the largest religion in Morocco, with more than 99% of the population adhering to it. The vast majority of Muslims in Morocco are Sunni, belonging to the Maliki school, And according to some historical account, the Maliki doctrine moved to Morocco from Andalusia during Adarisa. Alhamdulillah, the reason for the dominance of the Maliki doctrine in Morocco is due to the teacher Idris al-Awwal, who taught, or Idris first, who taught people to take it and follow his approach and made it an official doctrine of states. And now we're going to talk a little bit before to enter the memorizing in the Morocco and the North Africa. As we know, Morocco and our brothers in North Africa, from Morocco to Libya, we have very good number when we talk about memorizing of the Quran. I give you example from Muqaddimat Ibn Khaldun. I'm going to read it by Arabic because I don't have the translation, and I'm going to translate the meaning. مقدمة ابن خلدون in the page 538 in Arabic. فأما أهل المغرب فمذهبهم في الولدان الاقتصار على تعليم القرآن فقط وأخذهم أثناء المدارس بالرسم ومسائله، أي يقتصرون في بدايتهم على تحفيظ القرآن وتعليمه دون الدخول إلى أصول الفقه وفروعه والتفاسير وعلوم اللغة. واختلاف حملة القرآن فيه، لا يخلطون ذلك بسواه في شيء من مجال تعليمهم، لا من حديث ولا من فقه ولا من شعر ولا من كلام العرب، إلى أن يحدق فيه أي يصبح متميزا فيه أو ينقطع دونه، فيكون انقطاعه في الغالب انقطاعا عن العلم بالجملة، يعني إما أن تحفظ القرآن وتعلمه وإلا فأنت لست أهلا للعلم الشرعي. فيكون انقطاعه في الغالب انقطاعا عن العلم بالجملة، وهذا مذهب أهل الأمصار بالمغرب ومن تبعهم من قرى البربر ويعني بها الأمازيغ المغرب في ولدانهم، إلى أن يجاوزوا حد البلوغ إلى الشبيبة. وكذا في الكبير إذا رجع مدارسة القرآن بعد طائفة من عمره، فهم لذلك أقوم على رسم القرآن وحفظه من سواه. جزاه الله خيرا. The meaning of what Ibn Khaldun rahimahullah said that the Moroccan people, they are very remarkable people when we come to the memorizing the Quran, because they don't mix in the beginning, in the teenage years between hifz al-Quran, memorizing Quran, writing Quran and reciting Quran and other ulum like fiqh or lugha or something like that. And as we know, لقد شاعت بين الناظرين في خصائص الشعوب مقولة تنطلق من نظر حصيف يستند إلى شهادة الواقع. تقول نزل القرآن بلغة العرب ففسره الفرس وكتبه الترك وقرأه المصريون وحافظه المغاربة. Subhanallah, Al-Quran Karim came in the Arab people by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the first people who write it, and that does mean they are very good at it, and وكتبه الترك وقرأه المصريون, that the reading is for the Misriyin, they are very remarkable in the reading, حفظهم. And for memorizing and saving the Sunnah and the Quran, we come to Maghrib. And we will talk about the recitation school, where in Morocco we follow, majority of Moroccan people follow Warsh and Nafi', and the Qira'ah is one of the main canonical method of reciting the Quran. The recitation of the Quran, known in Arabic as Qira'at, are conducted under the rule of the Tajweed science. It is attributed to Imam Warsh, who got it from his teacher Nafi' al-Madani, who was one of the transmitters of the seventh recitation. The recitation of Warsh and Nafi' is one of two major recitation traditions. The second is Hafs and Asim. The Quran comes down in the language of the Arab, attributed by the Persian and written by the Turk, read by the Egyptian and preserved by Morocco. And when I was teenage, I was in MC, and I'm going to talk about, and this is a very good example, this picture. Morocco's 14,000 Quranic school teach 450,000 students. In Morocco, whenever a mosque was built, a large hall called Masjid, like this is the traditional name, Masjid. Now the famous name is the Quranic school.
was built next to it to teach people, to teach the Holy Quran to the children from the age of 5, as well as the Arabic language. And as we can see here, the kids, they have like a plywood or piece of wood. In Morocco, you are not allowed, when you try to memorize the Quran, you are not allowed to use the Quran. You have to write it by your hand and memorize it. This is very important thing, because you memorize the Quran, not just reading it, but by writing it correctly. This is make your memorizing the Quran very strong. Walillahi alhamd. And the same thing in the North Africa, except Ikhwanana al-Shanaqita in Mauritania, they write the Quran in the dust, في الرمال. Subhanallah. Quranic school provide young children, regardless of their social background, with training based on the memorizing of the Quran verses. And this is impact of the competition, national competition and international competition. The Moroccan people and the North African people too is same, always at the top. And when we talk to the competition, national competition and international competition, I'm going to give you like 4 years, 6 Moroccan cantors win Bahrain International Quran Recitation Competition in 2016. Sheikh Muhammad Al-Arabi, this is brother, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Arabi, Qastali was at the top of the list, winning the award for the best counter with 95.51 points. This is in 2016. In 2014, Morocco's Mu'ad Dawki won Wednesday night the most beautiful recitation contest and the 80th session of the Dubai International Holy Quran Award. And since the Moroccan Hajar Boussat won Malaysian International Quran Recitation Contest in 2013. Of course, the children are there. The Moroccan child Mohammed Bouchkouch won the first place in an international competition of Quran recitation entitled Ground of Life, Tijan al-Noor. The competition was organized by Al Jazeera Children Channel in the Qatari capital, Doha. Now we go, and the same thing, in Morocco we have special reading of the Quran. Of course, it's Sahiha, the recitation is Sahiha and it's Wash al-Nabi. We're going to listen inshallah. So Al-Qari Hassan Al-Fadil.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا إنا أعتدنا للكافرين سلاسلا وأغلالا وسعيرا.
جزاه الله خيرا brother. Now we're going to listen to Sheikh Abdul Kabir Al-Hadidi for 20 seconds inshallah. مصحف مرتب, the recitation by رواية واش عن نافع.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون.
And we're going to talk a little bit in 1 minute inshallah about some scholar in Moroccan. For example, we have Al-Qadi Ayyad ibn Musa, is very famous scholar Moroccan, and he has a lot of books. For For example, the famous one is Tartib al-Madarik, and Tartib al-Madarik that gives us the biographies of a lot of Maliki schools, Maliki scholars. And the other one, Al-Shifa. Al-Shifa gave us the biography of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Other Imam is Abdul Wahid ibn Ashir, is very famous in the Madhab al-Maliki, known as Imam ibn Ashir, was a prominent jurist in the Maliki school from Fes. Now we have a lot of scholars. This is just for a few examples of the Moroccan scholar. All these scholars, they have doctorate at Dawla plus doctorate in the fiqh or tafsir, or like Muhammad al-Raqi is faqih and alim fi al-lugha. Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah bin al-Madani, he won the 2016 the number one in Khitaba in Morocco. الحافظ مصطفى البيحيوي is a sheikh and mufassir and عالم لغة. الشيخ الغريم تعيب سعيد الكاملي حفظه الله is آية في الحفظ. والشيخ عبد الرحيم النابلسي is the very famous in the قراءات, and he is also a professor at the Saudi Arabia University, and Muhammad Jamil Mubarak.
Brother Muhammad is going to talk to you about famous historical people in Morocco.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. So my topic is concerning some famous names that enrich the history of Morocco. So the pre-Islamic era, there is Juba II, is a man that Rahim is talking about. Of Numidia, 50 before Christ to 23 AD, was an amazing king of Numidia and later a king of Mauritania, Tinzitana. His first wife is Cleopatra Selene II, daughter of the Greek Ptolemy, queen of Cleopatra VII of Egypt, and the Roman military commander Mark Antony called his name of Antonio. The Islamic era is it started Ibn Ziyad, 670 to 720 AD, was a Muslim Ahmadi commander who led the Islamic Umayyad to conquest Spain, 711 to 780 AD. And the order of the Umayyad Caliph Al-Walid ibn Abd al-Malik, he led a large army and crossed the Gibraltar Strait from North Morocco coast. Tariq army contained about 7,000 Ahmadi horsemen, and Musa ibn Musayyad sent him 5,000 reinforcements after the conquest of Spain. So the next is Abu Abdullah Muhammad al-Idrisi. He was 1099 Sultan Morocco, and he died in 1165 Sicily, Italy. Was an Arab Muslim geographer, cartographer, and Egyptologist. He lived in Palermo, Sicily, Italy. Next one is Muhammad ibn Battuta, 1304 to 1377 AD, was a Moroccan scholar who widely traveled to Middle World of a period of 30 years, and he visited most of the Islamic world and non-Muslim land. Present time we have Muhammad Sayani. He is from 1857 to 1921, he's from Morocco. He was an Amazigh militant mujahid, and he's very famous in Amazigh. And the last one is Abdul Karim al-Khattabi, 1882 as the Morocco, and he died in 1963, Cairo, Egypt. He was a Rifian Amazigh political and military leader. He and his brother Muhammad led a large-scale revolt by coalition of Amazigh-speaking Rif tribes against the French and Spanish colonization of the Rif, north of Morocco. The battle is famous in its battles and won July 22nd, 1921.
It'd be hard to follow that and go and start talking about food.
That's my favorite.
But we have pictures, so awesome. Moroccan food it was influenced by the other cultures, the same as history too. So the influence from nations over the centuries like Arab, Indonesians, Amazigh, Mediterranean cuisine, and slight European and sub-Saharan influence too. Some of our famous food, couscous. So a huge debate between Moroccans, Algerians, and Tunisians, which one will get the best couscous bar, Morocco, yeah. Right? And it's the most popular recipe because it's very delicious and it's served every Friday. In my house it was Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Seriously. We go to Bastila. Bastila is a traditional Andalusian dish consumed in countries of the Maghreb. Andalusian people who migrate to Fez have popularized the dish throughout Morocco. There is two kinds of pastilas. There a fish pastila or chicken pastila. There is no beef pastila.
No fish.
No fish. And we
doesn't like fish pastila, I know that.
Then we go to harira. Harira is very popular, especially in the month of Ramadan. There is no, in Morocco, there is no Ramadan or breaking your fast without harira. And I know a lot of people of you here already know harira. It's so popular that sometimes during the month of Ramadan, you know how mosque gets popularized, get a lot of people during the month of Ramadan. So in Morocco, they give it a nickname as harira worshippers. And then we go to Tangier, so representing the guys from Marrakesh. And it looks like Alaikum Assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. He's going to bring the Tangier, inshallah. Tangier is an urn-shaped terracotta cooking vessel. And it is also the name of the soup cooked in the pot. It's common in Marrakesh, Morocco. Comes with shibakia, it comes with harira. In Ramadan we'll get the shibakia. And it's a pastry of Moroccan origin, made of strips of dough rolled to resemble a rose. And we call it even Asian writing. Deep fried until golden. They are coated with soap made with honey and rose water and sprinkled with sesame seeds. And with that, thank you so much. And Brother Rashid has something for you guys.
Okay, barakallahu feekum, jazakallahu khair. I would like to thank all of you. If you haven't visited Morocco yet, it's time. Start with Egypt, and then to Morocco, next month, inshallah, Somalia. So now it's time for the quiz. So this is what we want to do. Okay, this quiz, you need to divide it into groups, okay? I think I did count already how many people here. I think it's around 50. If you can divide in 8 groups of 6 people. So Abdullah, can you pick 6 people? Adi, can you pick 6 people?
Yes.
Who else? Yeah. Can you pick 6 people? So 6 people. Suhail. Yeah. Yusuf, can you pick 6 people with you? In 2 groups, please. Yeah. Can you give me the Wi-Fi, please? And what you need is, you need your smartphone. If you're familiar with Kahoot, Kahoot is a game-based learning tool. So just get yourself to your smartphone. And go to Kahoot. That's it. Did you form your groups? I don't see. So hey, get your smartphone and go to www.kahoot.it. Kahoot.it. We don't have enough time, brothers, because we need to pray at 7:30. So please join a group. If you don't have a group, join a group, please. Just to remind you, brothers and sisters, next month, inshallah, March 31st, we're traveling to Somalia, inshallah. Takbir! With no visa.